Welcome back to the Let's Glow Show. It's Amanda Sweet, the creative fairy godmother. And every single week we talk to a creative entrepreneur who is carving their own path in a big, bold, and beautiful way. And today, as you can see on screen, we have the beautiful, illustrious, amazing Shawn Bumphers, CEO, founder, and lead consultant for Pink Poodle Bridal. Look at
Hi.
all I always love going into your shop because it just makes me feel like all the feels of love, the pink. It's like the girly girl love romance dream. Like you hit it on the head.
I love that you feel that way, and I love when you're here too.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for having us in your shop today.
Sure.
All right. So tell everybody a little bit more. I said like the titles, but who are you? Tell us who you are.
Sure. So I'm Raeshawn Bumphers. We were speaking about I go by Shawn. Everyone knows me by Shawn here at Pink Poodle Bridal, which was formerly Pink Poodle Dress Lounge. I come from it's crazy, but I come from the automotive industry. I have been in purchasing, procurement, and administration for over 20 years.
What?
And yes,
I did not know that.
yes. So
Corporate girly turned bridal girly.
yeah, so you have most bridal owners or bridal stylists. They are typically ones that dreamed of wedding gowns when they were young girls. That is just not my story. But I did do wedding planning for family and friends. I also moonlighted in the hospitality industry. So when I decided to open a business, I took a lot of time. I took weeks to sit down to um, discover exactly what I wanted to do. I never knew what I wanted to do, but I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. So I just took different aspects of my life and work experience it and created Pink Poodle Dress Lounge at that time. So here at the bridal shop, you get hospitality from me, you get wedding services from me, and you also find your perfect dress.
And it happens so easily. Every single time I've been in your shop, we're like, oh, we're going to try on all these dresses. Because I've worn Pink Poodle several times. One to Michigan Fashion Week. I wore Pink Poodle recently at your trunk show. I also wore it for some Miss Voluptuous America programs and shoots. And so, like, every time I work with you, I'm imagining I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to try on 75 dresses. And it's always like two. And
Right.
then we're done. I'm like, I mean, I love that, but also like, can I try on everything in the store? Like,
I'm so happy that you said that, Amanda, because that's literally what happens here when our brides come in the shop. I
mhm.
have 2 to 5 dresses in mind for them. And sometimes we don't even make it to the 5. But even if we do make it to the 5, I know that top 1 or 2 is going to be the dress.
Mhm.
So, and that's what you call a great, and I'm patting myself on the back right
As
now,
you should.
but that's what you call a great bridal consultant when you're not putting them in 8 to 10, 15 dresses and you're
Mhm.
confusing the bride even more. I try to focus and narrow down exactly what the bride wants, her vision, her personality, keeping her venue in mind, and respecting how she feels, and most importantly, the best silhouette for her body shape.
Mm, I love that. And I want to go reverse a little bit. You
Sure.
said that when you were deciding on Pink Poodle, you sat and you thought about all your skills. And you said it took a while, and then you said a couple weeks. And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking it's going to take a lifetime to figure it out. I'm curious, what were the things that you were analyzing coming from corporate America to go into bridal? Like, what were the things about yourself that you were thinking about so that, like, our person that's listening, if they're still trying to, I mean, we are still trying to figure it out. Like, I have so many things that I like. How did you get it down to bridal?
So, I believe it was more than a couple weeks. Um, when you add up the number of hours in a day, I can say it was definitely a long time,
Mm-hmm.
because it was at a point I was at work in the automotive industry. Procurement purchasing was my passion. I ended up moving into sales and marketing. And at some point, I knew I was going to possibly get laid off. They were like in the second or third round. So I kind of cheated. I spent a lot of my time at work, but I took care of things at
You got
work.
your work done.
Yeah, I got my work done.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time because I had that fire in my gut during this time. So I spent a lot of time at work just writing things down, ideas, and that's when I came up with
Oh, no, we lost you. Still with us, Shawn? I'm going to pull you off and play back on. Hello. This is what we love about live recordings. She's about to spill the beans. This is how she figured it out. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, hold on. And this is, when we're recording things. Oh, she's gone for good. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I met Shawn. So I had just finished Miss Voluptuous pageants. I got titled Miss Voluptuous America. It was beautiful. It was like whirlwind of an experience. I thought I was going to just do a pageant and then just bow out. And I ended up taking an international title, and it was awesome. I got connected with Lee from Busted Bra Shop. Her bras changed my life. I wore her bras all of the time. And then after I won the title, Lee was like, let's do a shoot. Let's do a shoot in the bras. Let's see. Let's do a shoot. Shawn, I'm telling them how I met you.
oh, okay. I don't know
So
what happened. Someone
that's
called.
okay.
This
It's
went
all
okay.
good. So Lee reached out to me. Lee was doing a photo competition. She was going to submit the photos, and she was like, okay, come over, trying all the bras at Busted. I fell in love with all the girls at Busted. And then she's like, oh, I want to put you in a dress too. And I was like, okay, you have dresses? And she's like, no, but Shawn does. And she's like, Shawn, come over. And like they shared a door in like
Yeah.
this retail space. And I just like go over, and here's Shawn and all these beautiful dresses. So I literally felt like I had this queen treatment where I'm like, here's all these bras, here's all this underwear, try it all on. Then go next door, bring your crown, put on all these dresses. And then we did this beautiful shoot that was at like 5 a.m. because we wanted to get the sunrise.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And I think to this day, if you see me in my underwear on the Busted Bra Shop Instagram, it was from that shoot. It was like so long ago. And every so often I'll go online and I'll see my naked body on their Instagram. And I was like, they say take pictures. They say take the pictures, take the pictures, take the pictures. But I was just, so that's how we met.
Yeah. That was a nice time.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
Very
And you were okay, so you left us on a cliffhanger. We're coming back. You were like, I came up with my formula. And then it was like, boom, cliffhanger. Come back for part 2. So tell us about your formula.
So then moving forward, I decided to open a bridal shop. There's so many reasons, we can go all night on speaking of why a bridal shop. There were so many things that was important to me. One was I needed to work with young girls, and I love being around women when they're at the most happiest time in their lives. What time is that? When you're selling a prom dress and a wedding dress. So those 2 factors kind of really said, okay, bridal shop it is. And then it was important for me to be in, not only in the city of Detroit, it was very important to be in a neighborhood. And I wanted to start in an urban neighborhood, which we did. And with that being said, it's because you can go to bridal shops in Metro Detroit and different suburban areas. You can shop for, higher fashion or quality opposed to being in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to bring that back in the city of Detroit and definitely in an urban neighborhood. And that's one of the things that I used to love about being on Jefferson. Being on
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson, you have all the young girls walking home from school and
Yep.
they're looking and pointing at the dresses.
Window shopping.
Yeah. So from there, I was trying to come up with this concept to incorporate the hospitality in, but I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't think of a name, what to name this bridal shop. And I didn't want it to just be a wedding shop alone.
Yes.
And so my great aunt, which was my grandmother's twin sister, she had got her wings. So I had
Mm-hmm.
drove my grandmother down to Chicago to bring my aunt home and clean her house out. And while we were driving, my grandmother told me about the name of the club that my aunt used to own. So she was in ministry when we were growing up. We knew that she owned a bar, but we knew not to talk about it. We did.
Mm-hmm.
So when my grandmother told me it was called Pink Poodle Lounge, I was like, what? Let me think about this a minute.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna
So
keep it in the family.
yes. So the very next day, it just became a no-brainer for me. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up that morning and I said, I'm going to go with it. We're just going to drop dress in there. So I went with Pink Poodle Dress Lounge, and I felt comfortable with the dress lounge because at that time we had boutique dresses, we had formal dresses, we had dresses, business dresses, plus
Mm-hmm.
the bridal dresses. Plus, as you
Oh
can see, we have
yes.
a lounging space.
Yes.
So I decided to go with Pink Poodle Dress Lounge. I it took me a few months to create my business plan because I changed it about 4 or 5 times.
As we do. As we do.
Yes. One of the first locations where Pink Poodle actually was supposed to be was here on Livernois, maybe a mile and a half up.
Mm-hmm.
We signed a letter of intent for this space, and I learned an old girlfriend had told me about Motor City Match. So
Mm.
he told me about Motor City Match. And then I got the location, the letter of intent, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to tweak the business plan one more time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so tweaked it one more time. And then unfortunately, the owner backed out.
Mm.
Had backed out the entire strip. They just wasn't going to lease anymore, and I guess it was
Mm.
personal reasons. So I had to find another location.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that new location was tough because it was kind of pushing me into the suburbs.
Mm.
And for one, I wanted to be in Detroit. That was a
Yeah.
must. And then on top of that, I had an opportunity to possibly win a grant in the city of Detroit.
Yep.
So from there, my girlfriend and I, she owned a building,
Mm.
and I decided to take over her space upstairs. So that was actually our
The
very,
first.
very first location. So
Nice.
unfortunately, it was, it didn't work out for so many different reasons. And but one of the main reasons, it was definitely kind of a challenge when we had our great
Mm.
grandmothers coming in, or they couldn't come in to go up the stairs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
me, I was Shawn at the time. I'm Superwoman. I can make everything work. It didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Well, you tried something and you
Absolutely.
pivoted quickly. I think that's important. Like it's from this part, what I'm hearing is like you learned fast, you moved quick, you followed your intuition, you followed the trends, and it's like all of those parts of you are important to the rest of the experience and the story you learned in
Absolutely.
every single one of those ways. So maybe it didn't work at that time over there,
That
but it
time.
worked way better over, you know what I mean?
Right. But at the end of the day, it was a start, and it better
Yes,
prepared me for the next location, which it did,
absolutely.
because we
Yeah.
bloomed from there. So I was and this is how I met Lee. So
Mm,
Lee from Busted Bra, she came up to my old shop to introduce herself, and she was opening right down the street, which was probably a mile away, Jefferson and
mhm.
Chalmers. And so we connected so that we can send each other customers, the normal
Perfect.
business exchange,
Yep.
and then I was telling her about I probably have to find me a new location. And she
Mhm.
suggested that I come down there with her at Jefferson and Chalmers. So I'm like, hmm. But it took me a minute to do that. It really did take me a minute to do that because I felt I was going further away from downtown. But
Mm,
it was still in an urban neighborhood. And I
mhm.
thought about being next to a bra shop. It would be great as well.
Yeah.
But I did my research. I started looking in different areas. I was asked to go in Midtown, go in downtown, but the numbers just wasn't numbering for me
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
those areas. So I ended up reaching out to Lee, and she connected me to go view the shop. And it was actually, and I have to say this because this is a whole story.
Yeah.
So it was two spaces that was next to Lee. So, Busted Bra sat on the corner. She wanted me to go in the center, but there was
Mhm.
also an old coffee shop that was on the
Oh.
the other side as well. So I thought of getting both of those spaces. And then I had to listen because I didn't listen to God the first time.
Mm.
So I listened to what God was telling me when I woke up in the morning, and it was like, don't get both of those spaces.
Mm.
So I moved forward and I got the first space. And let me go back a little bit because this was quite a struggle for me too.
Mm.
During that time, when I was closing with little cash.
Yeah.
I was closing with little cash, and I was also closing. But I did a little
Mm.
lie because I knew this wasn't the end of Pink Poodle Bridal.
Yeah.
So I just said we were moving. When I say we were moving, we ain't have no location.
That's not a lie, that's a manifestation. That's
Love that.
vision.
Thank you. Yes.
It's vision. Okay, because I'll tell you this, if
Mhm.
it's a lie, then I must be lying a lot because I'm always promoting the next one
Yeah.
with the knowing that by the next festival that I host, we
Yeah.
will find a space. We
Yeah.
will find the thing. So it just, I don't think that was a lie. I think that was a manifestation. You had plans?
I'm rolling with that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
hundred
It
percent. Because
was.
the space was
Yeah.
built.
Yes. So I sobered for like a couple months
Mm-hmm.
because I invested a lot.
Yeah.
And prior to moving into that first location, the building wasn't ready for me until 9 months after I was supposed to open.
Oh,
So it was a real struggle. It was a
yeah.
loan associated without being open for 9 months. It was a lot
Sheesh.
going on.
Yeah.
So then one of my girlfriends told me, um, Shawn, you better get up.
We need
You
those.
figure this out.
We
This is
need
what we
those.
do,
Yep.
and I'm telling you, after that, that fire was back in my gut. And not only the fire was back in my gut, I had gained my faith back. It was something that I lost. So I'm not tearing up right now.
I feel it. I feel it. But
So
that's so okay. Like, let's just break that down for a second because as business owners and as women, we like, you put yourself out there, you invest your money, you invest your energy, you change your whole life for this vision, and it doesn't execute the way you think it's going to go.
yeah,
And like I had an experience like that, and I don't really talk about it that much. And I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready to talk about it more. But like the pageantry didn't work out the way that I thought it would. And it was devastating because I was like, I put all of this energy, I invested all of this money. I was
mhm,
going to launch the America's pageant. I was going to go down this business path, and it didn't work out. And I was probably on my butt for like, I don't know, like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But that time on my butt was really important because when I had to like go through the mental, emotional, spiritual breakup with
Yeah.
this vision of my future that was like no longer happening, and then just reassess and get my butt together. And my friends were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Need that.
We need it. We need it. And I think if I've learned anything, what I'm learning from you right now is we need to have good people in our life that see us for the builders that we are and the visionaries that we are and can call that from us when we need it, especially as someone like you and me who pour into people all the time, pour into their feelings. You're impacting them on the most special day of their lives. And I'm on the opposite side of that when it comes to fashion. I'm giving them their daily clothes. You're giving them their moment to shine. And like both of those spaces are so personal.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you're constantly pouring into people. And we need, and I'm saying this to the person that's listening that is a pourer and a builder and a community builder. Like, you need people in your life that are going to be like, I see you.
Yeah.
And you're not showing up the way that I know you want to show up. Get up.
Absolutely. And then you think you're alone. You're not.
Yes.
It's
Oh
so
my
many of us
gosh.
that's end up in that space as entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I literally said it yesterday. I'm doing a spiritual coaching class with a woman named Emifa, and there's a couple people, and she's like, "What are your feelings right now?" And I'm like, "I really feel lonely." But also I'm like pushing people away. And in that time, I was pushing people away.
Yeah.
They're like, "Don't call me. I'm not available. I don't want to play. I don't want to participate. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't ask me to do anything because I'm not who I need to be right now. And
Yeah.
also, like, I don't need you to help me." And then creating this loneliness for myself.
Right. And that's normal. It's not no, it shouldn't be normal, but that happens, you know.
Yeah.
It happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely happened to me, but you know, I picked so it's in it, and then it's like, you know, we're over 7 years now,
Yeah.
and I haven't celebrated the way I wanted to celebrate, because it's always changes during these economic challenges now. But I do sit around and I think about all of the small, what you think is small, were huge impacts and what I've accomplished here. I mean, we just sat here and we talked about busted bra. Had she not told me about the location next door to her, Jefferson and Chalmers, I'm not sure where we would have been. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But going back to that, I did end up getting that location. And oh my God, I was so happy and excited. Even though, you know, well, I was manifesting it, not lying.
Yes. You were manifesting. You were building it.
I didn't share, I didn't tell people we didn't have a location. But if you go back to our social media, those days that I was struggling and was depressed, I was still posting, we're moving, you know, posting cute little pink vintage photos. We're moving. We ain't have no place to go. So when we got to Jefferson and Chalmers, girl, I knew I was strong again. I knew I had my faith back. And how I knew I gained my faith back, because after opening, well, let me back up a little bit too. The owner of the building, I didn't have much money. I didn't have much money. But I'm like, I'm going to put this deposit down, pay the first 2 months rent, and I'm going to figure everything out afterwards.
Yep.
And the owner of the building actually took care of everything in the building for me. All I had to do was buy the paint. Do you hear what I'm saying?
That is a smart building owner.
All I had to do was
they invested in you. They saw you. They saw what you were going to do. They saw the proof of concept. And they said, this will make us money if
Yeah,
we invest in it. That is a beautiful thing. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah, I was blessed in that area. And then after 3 months of opening, COVID hits.
oh my God.
I can't make this up.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that's real. That is so real. So all
Yes.
weddings are canceled. Nobody's getting married. Nobody's going outside. We're not doing nothing. Okay, so what happened?
So again, I gained my faith back, right? I knew I gained my faith because when we went into quarantine,
Mhm.
I wasn't even scared. I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous.
Hmm.
I was just like, okay. I had kind of became a one woman shop.
Mhm.
And I was just like, okay, I can just take care of things that I couldn't take care of. I would take advantage of this time,
Yeah.
you know, but not knowing that this will drag out for months.
Mhm.
So I forget what week that was when it was really known that we're going to be shut down. The state is going to be shut down for a long time. I was so blessed that I had the city of Detroit, that's the DEGC.
Mhm.
At the time, I had a loan with Michigan Women's Forward. Shout out to
Mm.
Michigan Women's Forward, because without Michigan Women's Forward giving me my first loan, non-conventional loan, Pink Poodle wouldn't exist.
Mm.
So Michigan Women's Forward reached out to me. So the city gave me a grant. Michigan Women's Forward found donors to help us with our loan. So I didn't have to, there was a donor that paid my loan for 6 months.
Wow.
You hear me, girl?
Wow. Wow. But that's what happens when you act on your vision. And I'm saying this to myself, to you, to the person listening. If you have the vision and the skill to execute, the road will be built as you're walking it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to, you, the person, doesn't have to come up with all the answers because that's not your responsibility. You have to have the vision and the willingness to leap. And it sounds like the ground built itself under you, which is amazing.
Did, because, it did. And then,
Yeah.
it's twofold as well. It's having that faith, because I didn't worry about it. I don't
Yeah.
know what got in me, but I did not worry about it. And then they made it easier for me by basically covering my lease payment and loan. Those are like the two major things,
Yeah.
covered that for months, that
Wow.
while we were in quarantine, I didn't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
So what happens then, now I'm a one woman shop for real.
Mhm.
And I want to go back to, I never intended to sell wedding dresses. I've never
Mm.
retail before. When I first started, I had a young lady that had almost 10 years of bridal experience. I mean, she knew how to sell a dress. She
Yeah.
was amazing. She was supposed to run the shop. I was
Mhm.
supposed to handle marketing,
I
strategies,
see.
the administrative piece. COVID threw me into becoming a bridal stylist.
Mhm.
So when we were in quarantine, every day, every single day, it's not one day I didn't go to my shop on Jefferson and Chalmers.
Mm.
Every day I went to the shop and I started working on branding. And that's
Mm.
why at the time I started calling myself the Detroit bridal stylist. It was easy for me to learn how to sell the dresses because I'm a team player.
Yeah.
Just because I own this place, I work with the team. Whether you work with me occasionally, your temporary work, it's a team. We're one unit when we're working with each other. So the young lady that was my stylist at the time, she she will handle the bride in their family. She was amazing. And I worked as her support system.
Yeah.
So now the hospitality part comes out of me. You know, I serve them their champagne, make sure they're comfortable. I assist her on whatever she needs. So doing that, I learned a lot through her
Mm.
on how to sell a wedding gown. And on top of that, by me purchasing, I'm picking out the dresses, I'm paying for them, I'm investing in them. It was definitely much easy for me to sell them.
Right.
You know, you invest in something, you're going to figure it out.
And you're going to invest in something that you like, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. So then from there, I started, you know, put myself out there as the Detroit bridal stylist. And then I started marketing that, and I did a live. I did a live show on Instagram every week where I
Mhm.
interviewed wedding vendors.
Oh, smart.
Yes, and so
Very smart.
yeah, and from there, listen, girl, when we were out of quarantine, we could only have X amount of people
Right.
per each appointment. The brides was knocking down my door. When I tell you COVID
They
has
were ready.
been one of the best years for me, it
Mm.
was. Because,
Wow.
you know, I had to strategize on this too. It was like I was also selling dresses off the rack if I had to. You had at that time, you had to do what you needed to do to generate cash.
Yeah.
So there were so many things that I had to put in play with that. We had a lot of brides. People, yeah, a lot of weddings were being canceled during that time or moved, but it was
Yeah.
a lot of brides that didn't cancel their weddings. They ended
Yeah.
up having their weddings in their parents' backyards, at their
Mhm.
homes, you know, in barnyards.
Yep.
It was a lot going on, but at the end of the day, I was selling wedding dresses.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was you know, I definitely learned and did act fast on pivoting. You know,
Yes. Oh,
it
pivot was the word of the year. But
absolutely
it's required all the time. I
all the
mean, we're seeing it
new
now.
thing.
We need to constantly be adjusting, growing, experimenting, learning. So like I love how the story is showing how much you grew as a leader, as a business owner, and we're not willing to let a role or a title or ego stop you from like, I need to learn how to do this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to experiment with that. Cause like we did the same thing with the revamp. We're like, what do we do? Cause literally we hosted a festival, our biggest one in March. And I think I told you a little bit about the story, but I was getting married that year and we hosted a swap. The next Wednesday, I flew back to Michigan for my bachelorette party.
Yeah.
I got in on Wednesday. 72 hours later, I was driving back to Texas because the world shut down. The world shut down. So I had to cancel my wedding. We ended up canceling. I had to cancel my wedding. We didn't know what to do with the revamp. We ended up doing like internet challenges and Instagram lives. This is how this started.
Yeah.
So I feel you, but we were doing fashion challenges for our audience and using small businesses. Smoky Citrine is one of them. She made jewelry, beaded jewelry, and she would pick a color. She picked a color and had a giveaway. So she's like, the color is blue, and I'm giving away this like earring, necklace, belt set to the person that wins it. And all of these women were submitting photo challenges to win this set from this small business, and it was generating business for her and for other businesses. So we had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And we did.
Good. That's wonderful. But that's what you do. That's
Yes.
what we do.
Exactly. Like whatever your plan is on paper, just know it's going to change.
Absolutely. It's going to constantly change. And I'm
Yes.
telling you, Pink Poodle has been through a lot of changes.
Yeah. And you're on the avenue of fashion now, which is where you wanted to be originally. So tell me a little bit about that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So moving forward, but before we go there, remember I was I listened to what God was telling me, and I did not get the both spaces at Jackson and Chalmers.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, and we fast forward through all of that, money started being after we opened, money was good.
Good.
We generating money. I mean, it was great. So that's when God told me, okay, now you can take over the space next door. But here's the crazy part too. So it was a coffee shop that was going to go there.
Mm.
But when COVID hit, it was going through the changes. They sat on that space for probably a year, I think, or almost a year, empty. And when they finally released it, that's when God said, go ahead and get it. Yep. And that's when I opened the boutique side.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was perfect. It's like everything had fell in place. Yeah. But then after, I was at the shop one day, and the owner of the building here, he had came by and was like asking, he has a building on the Avenue of Fashion. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to know if I wanted to open up a second location. Oh. And so 2 things here. And everyone knows me. When I have a bride, our appointments are private.
Yeah.
I don't like interruptions. Mm-hmm. Our appointments are private. And then this man is also talking to me about opening up a second location. I'm like, if you don't get out of here.
I'm working.
I went, no, yeah. But you can leave your number, all of that. And so he left out. And after my appointments ended that evening, God put on me you better go look at that place. So I called him that night, and he met me here to look at it. So I called one of my girlfriends the next day, and we walked the area. So even prior to that, I was speaking with Rufus Bartell, that I've known for years, that owns Simply Casual over here. He talked to me before about coming over this way. And we were going to kind of look for a spot for me over here, but it wasn't pressed or on the burner for me. Right. You know what I mean? And then, so then I told my girlfriend, I was just like, okay, let's just go over there and hang out for the day. So, we walked the strip, we had lunch. She kept looking at the building, and all she kept saying too, because it's the tallest building on the block. Mm-hmm. Maybe the tallest building on the strip.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were all the way down the street, maybe 2 blocks up, and we can still see the side of the building.
You can see it.
Yes. And she was like, I can see your logo right there, like Batman.
Yes. Is this the same friend that got you up off your butt the first one?
No.
Okay, different friend. Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Yes. So we went through that, and so we was just like, this is it. Yeah. So again, we didn't move over here.
Sure.
We were doing a second location.
Yeah. So
I thought that it would be great for us to be on the east side and the west side of Detroit. Mm-hmm. So I pushed the button to move forward, negotiating with the owner for 3 months. I have a purchasing background, so we're going to negotiate, right?
Yes. And that's what we should do all the time. As women, we don't think that we should, but he approached you. This wasn't a part of your business plan. And even if you approached him, the negotiation is required, because if I learned anything from working at Bamboo in sales and selling offices, the men always ask for a discount. They always ask for something.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's just like a job interview. Just what you said, regardless if he came to me or I came to him. I know my value and I know my brand. It's
Yep.
like you're going on a job interview. You're
Mhm.
interviewing them as well.
Mhm.
You got skills that they want. So
Yes.
it's always room to negotiate, you know?
100%.
Yeah. So we went, so I decided to, of course, move forward. I did love the idea of us being on the east side and the west side, but then here comes financial troubles again.
Mhm.
So it was just like, okay, well, we can try to see how economics will be after election and all of that type of stuff. And then we ended up, I decided to let the boutique side go
Mm.
and keep, the bridal side on Jefferson. And then it's like challenging to find staff. And,
Yeah.
you can always have bodies here working, but
Yeah.
if I have a staff person, I need that person with real experience. I need that person to be able to work that they can pay for themselves.
Yeah.
If I
Yep.
can't get that, I can do this by myself.
Yep. That part. Yep.
I'm just not going to pay someone just to be here. People say
Yeah.
you can't do everything by yourself. Well, if I can't leave and go on vacation or
Then it's not the right person. Yeah.
exactly. So it resulted so that resulted in us closing Jefferson. And listen, and it was like my lease was coming up, so it was like a quick decision that had to been made.
Mhm.
A lot of people thought that I was sad and upset. No,
Mm.
I felt really, really great about this, the decision that I made. It's just not working out, and we have to pick which one is the best location, and it
Mhm.
happens to be this location here.
Mhm.
So, we end up closing and, making this our home.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. You did such a beautiful job. But like your story, I mean, you're saying it so quickly, but we already know there's so many intricacies that go in there and that build your confidence to so you could be Shawn, the bridal consultant and CEO on the Avenue of Fashion. But like your story is it's so applicable to so many people in business. It sounds like you leaned on the community resources that were available. You betted on yourself multiple times on your vision. You didn't give up. You kept it going. You pivoted when you needed to. Like all of these things. That's why you could pick a dress in 2.5 dresses. That's why you can you know what I mean? That doesn't just happen overnight. You know what you're doing. You're like, I need to move these brides because we need to move these dresses. But also
Yes,
like
to move them.
but that's what brings, like your secret sauce and you've had to practice that secret sauce over these years to get where you are today. And it's so beautiful. And I'm so
Yes,
proud of
thank
you.
you.
Ah,
I remember. Hold on, I have to share this with you.
I'm
So
all ears.
I had a bride during COVID. This was just at the end of the quarantine.
Mm,
And this bride, I've actually worked with her before. I've known her for years. We I don't think we've ever broke bread with each other. We just had a mutual respect for each other. I thought she was awesome. I think she thought I was awesome. But
mm.
but she had text me. She texted or inboxed me on Facebook and was like, she's getting married, and she went looking for a wedding dress, and she just seems to cannot find anything for herself.
Mm.
She couldn't find anything. And so she asked me to do a virtual appointment. And in my head, I'm like, hell no.
It's okay.
I ain't got them skills.
No.
I did not. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, no. Girl, I
Please.
was so nervous.
Oh,
But I couldn't tell her, no, I'm a
sure.
bridal shop. This is what you have to do.
Hmm.
So I told her, yeah, we can set it up, yeah. So we
Yeah.
we set it up. So I think maybe 2 days later, but as soon as I got off the phone with her, I started planning, strategizing. So I did ask her several questions. And from there, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it in this room. We're going to set up 3 mannequins. Again, I told you it's 2 to 5 dresses that I can pull for you. And I definitely learned with this one. So I grabbed 3 mannequins and put top 3 dresses that I thought that she would love. It was her and her daughter on the virtual appointment with us. And we had a great time on there. And it felt good. You know what I mean? It felt like they were there. I was still in hospitality mode and caring about what my bride wanted and needed. Like, I was shocked that I killed that. I was totally shocked. So she liked all 3 dresses. She really liked all 3 dresses, but she fell in love with one of them. So she asked me if it's possible that she could come in to try the dress on. We're in quarantine. And I'm like, maybe I can sneak you through the back door.
Come around the back.
But listen, but 2 days later, we got out of quarantine. But when we were closing out the virtual appointment, her daughter said this to me, and that this is when I tell you my confidence went up so far, and I was like, oh, I got this. And that's why I was just like, one woman shop for real. I got it in the bag. Her daughter said, you were the only one that listened to my mother. She said, all the shops we've been through to, you were the only one that listened to my mother. You hear me, girl? That hit me hard. That was deep. And so her and her mom, the bride and her mother came in. And it just so happened they came in 2 or 3 days later, and that's when the state opened. So I didn't have to sneak her through the back door.
Yeah, you can come to the front.
So they came in. We've had our masks on, and she put the dress on, and she fell in love with it. And that's the dress that she had walked down the aisle with. And she gave me a review. Girl, this review was like 2 pages long.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's moments like that when, you as a business owner, you go through all these challenges and these rough patches and all of these pivots and changes. And then you get in your element and you remember why you're doing it in the first place. I feel like I always get like in my head a little bit before a festival, and I always have to remind myself, like, just wait 48 hours, because once you get put in your element, you're going to just remember why. And when the doors open, the volunteers come in, I'm like, oh yeah, it's for this moment where I'm in my bag. Like, I don't even, like, my brain goes away, my body goes away. I'm just like present. I'm present in the moment, and everything is just working, and that's what we do it for as business owners. Like, the hard stuff is worth it because you get to do stuff like that.
Absolutely. You get to feel it. It's worth it, definitely. And it's
100%.
And brides remind me that all the time. It's just the words that they say, or their mothers will say when they're walking out the door, how they, share the experience that they have. And it's just like the struggles, it goes away, and I can sleep well just from those words,
Yeah, because you're trying your best. You're doing everything you can. Like, I think as long as you follow the things that fuel you and listen to your intuition and listen to all of the things that are coming to you, and follow your gut and follow your heart, like, you can't really do it wrong,
Yeah.
There's no, I always say this, I'm like, there's no failing. There's no wrong answer. There's no way to do life wrong. I mean, there's a couple of ways to do life wrong, but generally, if you are following your heart and you're following the voice of God, if that's what you believe in, or your intuition, if that's what you believe in, and you're doing right by people and right by yourself, like, you will be successful.
Absolutely.
I
run with failure. Failure is a bonus.
Failure is the biggest teacher.
You just repair that baby,
Yeah. It's just like if you got a hole in a dress, you figure it out.
Exactly.
You sew it up. I love that. We already talked for almost an hour.
Did we?
Okay. That went by so fast. So I got 2 final questions for you.
Sure.
So question number 1 is, where can everybody find you? Where can they find you online, in person? How can they book an appointment? How could they get mentored by you? All of that stuff.
Sure. So what I do love when brides come in here and I ask how did they learn about us. I love when brides do their research on us.
Mhm.
So that research consists of going on our website, pinkpoodledresslounge.com. You go on our website, you also Google us to read all of the wonderful reviews so you know the exact service that you're going to get from us. And we also have beautiful pictures. Our journey is on Instagram, Pink Poodle Bridal, and Facebook, which is Pink Poodle Bridal. And we love for you to book your appointment with us on our website. That's pinkpoodledresslounge.com, or you can give us a call at 313-635-5190. And we are appointment only. And we are appointment only for so many reasons, but we do like to give one bride at a time our full attention with no interruptions.
And that's what they deserve
Absolutely.
every time. And
Yeah.
you do prom dresses too, right?
Yes. So yes, we carry we have prom dresses as well as formal dresses. So if you have a gala, holiday party, or a birthday.
Okay, unfortunately, we lost Shawn in the shuffle. We had a little technical difficulties, but I think you got the gist of it. All of her links and booking information will be below. And we want to thank you again for being here. To summarize, if you're building your business and you're struggling to get through whatever the storm you're weathering, just know, keep your vision, trust your intuition, trust your gut, keep going, fail fast, make adjustments as you go, and you'll see yourself on the other side. As long as you're trying your best, you will do amazing things. So thank you so much for being here. We enjoy you. We appreciate you. We love you. Leave some comments below of your favorite way that you failed in your business. And we will see you next week on the Let's Glow Show. It's Amanda Sweet, the Creative Fairy Godmother. Love, 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 love you. And have an amazing week ahead.